Hello, everyone, and good evening. Welcome to a monumental episode of Adam's TV Podcast because from this point on, moving forward, we are not going to be referred to as Adam's TV Podcast. We have worked together, Eric and I, and we have decided on a new name for the channel and podcast. What's it going to be, Eric?
Reality Hour.
Yes.
We both agreed upon it. And we're going to be bringing you the reality in approximately 60 minutes.
Exactly. We actually just had a bit of a debate before we're going live. Well, we're not actually live, but this was recorded yesterday from the time you guys are watching it. And this feels kind of exciting. We like the name. If you're watching this, let us know in the comments what you think of our new title. We are going to be going through a bit of a transition period in these coming days, kind of switching things up, kind of making the transition from the old title to now Reality Hour. And we hope you keep sticking with us on this train. See how far the tracks lead us.
Yep, and just so you know, we don't have to change anything in your feeds. It's all going to transition over. If you're subscribing on iTunes or Spotify or Stitcher or whatever, it'll just move over. And if you're still subscribed to us on YouTube, which you should be, please do if you haven't, the channel's title's already changed, so you can just look at it and you'll see we're Reality Hour now. So it's all done. You don't have to do anything. Just know that we have a new name and we're super excited about it.
Yes. So for our first episode of Reality Hour, we are going to be talking about America's Got Talent, the Judge Cuts. Eric, I didn't even get to introduce you today. How are you doing? How are things going?
It's fine. Fine. Fine's the word I'll use. Not great, not bad. Fine. I'm happy. Overall.
Well, I am also happy, very happy, because we are finally through
done with auditions.
The auditions. It only took 7 weeks? Is that how long it took?
Yeah, 7 weeks. It's ridiculous.
Almost 2 months. 2 months of Howie Mandel doing whatever Howie Mandel does.
No, we have at least 3 more months of Howie. No, 2.5, 3 more months of Howie Mandel doing whatever Howie Mandel does. He's getting on my nerves. I mean, he got on my nerves a long time ago, but he's still getting on my nerves.
Yes, we have moved past the auditions. We've finally arrived at the Judge Cuts, where montage acts are basically doomed from the start. That's how it usually goes in this round, right, Eric?
The montage of doom.
Montage of doom. Where if you are montage, the acts are basically just taken outside and just like go away. It's such a shame how America's Got Talent kind of treats these acts. I'm of the opinion that if you want to do a structure and episode kind of with this round, which by the way I don't like this round, like at least have it like be 12 acts. Don't make it be 18 because they're gonna be acts that aren't gonna get to be featured, and they've gone through this rigorous audition process, like probably put portions of their lives on hold to kind of get involved in the show, and they just get a montage. They're gone. That's it. What are your thoughts on it?
Don't get too attached to any of them. I'm only one montage act I'm a little bit sad we lost, but
I'm very sad about one act that we lost to the montage of doom, and we will talk about him in a minute. But first off, I want to mention that we also have a guest judge for this episode, not Reality Hour, but in the actual episode of America's Got Talent. We had Brad Paisley. Eric, what did you think about his judging?
He told Howie to suck it. That's all I need to know. I'm happy with him for that alone. That's all I needed to do.
He would get my Reality Hour like golden buzzer as a judge, like for doing that, because thank you.
Yeah. It's something we all wish we could say to Howie. Suck it.
All right. Well, Eric, what did you think about what do you think in general about this kind of round that America's Got Talent has? What are your thoughts?
Well, it's a clear exploitation of the fact that they have a golden buzzer and those moments go viral, so we need another round of golden buzzers. It's that simple. That's the whole reason this round exists. Well,
do you like it? Are you a fan? Are you not a fan?
I don't like gimmicks in general, so no, I'm not a fan. But and it's gonna make me. I'm gonna have to watch Jay Leno hit the golden buzzer in 2 weeks or so. So that's gonna make me really upset. But yeah, what are we gonna do?
In my opinion, like I've said in the past, I don't like this round. I feel like it's very.
Jay Leno is gonna make me hate this round.
No, what I hate so much about it is that it reminds me of the live shows, and it's a taste of what the live shows are, and yet just not that. Like it's so close. Like everything looks kind of real, but it's just off. Like there's the cutaways, there's the judges talking over the performances. Like it's so, and that just gets me like so.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're so close, and it's like you're mocking me. You're doing all these.
Doing some of the things that live shows involve, but not enough of them.
Exactly, and that is going to be something.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Top 24 Idol this year, where they have the appearance that it's like a live show,
but it's not.
It's not, and it still has all the problems that associated with it not being live.
All right. Well, let's start to get into these acts. First up is an act that I'm sure Eric is going to be positively happy with. It is Lucas and Falco. They are a dog act. Eric, what are your thoughts on these? I was going to say perfectly, but that doesn't work with dogs. What are your thoughts on this act?
I don't care about my thoughts on this act. I don't care about... You told me to be prepared for puns, but I wasn't expecting them this early. Oh, God, that's awful. So, I'm going to let you take this one, talk about this one, because it's the Greatest Showman themed dog act. So,
well,
go ahead. Time for your rant.
I will say that I personally did not find this act to be very rough. I like this act. I actually really enjoyed this act. I don't usually like dog acts, but I feel like for this season, my bar is kind of so lowered to the point that I'm kind of able to enjoy these acts in a way that I don't usually. So yeah, it's The Greatest Showman, which I've still never seen. You've seen it, right, Eric?
I've listened to the songs from it. We all have. But I've not seen the movie. I will say the theme is a bit too perfect for this type of act, because I don't think this act would work as a standalone act in Vegas, but as part of something like a circus, it'd be fine. So, the theme actually kind of reminds me of the problems and the potential of this act.
All right.
Any more puns you have to say? Simon's pun was really bad. It was so bad I thought Howie would have been the one to say it.
You know what? I'm just going to forget about these puns for this. It's the one joy I can take from these. I'm just kidding. But dog acts never make it far on these shows. I think the furthest we've seen on America's Got Talent was Sam and Hero, who I think finished fifth. Am I correct?
Hero. So clearly they didn't do so well.
I knew it was an S and a Hero.
Because you forgot her name, so clearly she didn't do so great. Yeah.
I
will say, I do have to... This is going to be my random plug time of the hour. Because this is a dog act, my favorite local band, Sub Radio, released a new EP today called Dog Ears. So check that out. They're really good. I have videos on my YouTube page. Anyway.
Yeah, well...
That's my dog-related pun for today.
Dog puns are fun, Eric.
They'll make you roll over with joy.
Whoa. I'm the pun person.
Well, to be fair, that wasn't a pun. That was terrible. That wasn't a pun. That wasn't.
It was positive.
What is this out?
Anyway, one thing I did notice is the dog's name is Falco. Do you think by any chance this might be a reference to Star Fox?
Skippy, we're under attack. Was that a reference to Star Fox?
That was a Star Fox scene. I've actually never played a Star Fox scene.
Never have I, but I remember it from Smash Brothers. So
yeah, I remember watching the game. Fun game. But anyway, for this act, the one thing that kind of the biggest standout for me was that Simon Cowell had this. He mentions that he has an idea about The Greatest Showman, but with dogs. He said that. Those words left his mouth.
What?
Would you be first in line for that movie, Eric?
Depends. Are they paying me to see it, or am I paying them to see it?
I'm sure there will be lots of dog puns that they will pay you in. All right. Well, I also forgot to mention at the beginning of this episode how we're going to structure this podcast. So this is going to be a spoiler podcast. As we talk about the act, we will go over their results. So Lucas and Falco are one of the 7 acts advancing. Do you agree with their results?
Sure. Why not?
Why not? Is that one paw thumbs up or, well, do dogs have thumbs? I don't know. They don't. Right? How does that work?
We have an episode title, so that's good.
Do dogs have thumbs? Well,
for that.
So they would go through on your list, right?
Sure. I say woof.
Okay, this is going off the rails. Too many puns. We haven't hit such a low since the cat episode of last season.
Yep.
Yeah. For me, I would also send them through. They were of what I saw this episode, I thought they were actually top 4 for me, maybe.
Top 4, yes, I would agree with top 4.
But anything above that, not so much. Yeah. So, any final thoughts on Lucas and Falco?
Nope.
All right, and now we started off with a high. We had dog puns. Now it's time to take a bit of a turn. We have up Andy Rowell, who was one of my favorite auditions from.
Wasn't it your golden buzzer?
No, my golden buzzer was the
it was
Shadow Acts.
Right.
So Andy Rowell was the he pretends to be a karaoke singer, but he's really a comedian, is what his act is. And in his audition, he did this whole shtick where he says he's going to do a karaoke song, but the song has one word, and that word is tequila. And I love that audition, but I remember feeling after it that what this guy needs to do is never do that joke again. He needs to come into the next episode saying, I tried out karaoke singing, but now I'm going to be a magician. And the whole act is like something entirely different. And Andy Rowell did not take what I was hoping for him to do. And he basically did a retread of his audition. And he just did turn down for what? And my heart's a little crushed that he didn't make it, Eric.
Even though it was just a one joke act that only worked once, you would have wanted him to go through?
No, I don't think he deserved to go through. I just wish he had the self-awareness to kind of know. Do you think maybe he was forced into doing this act again? Because
I think you're putting way too high expectations for an act like this. There's a big story here.
Because for me, I didn't think he was actually his act was a karaoke singer. It was a comedian kind of masquerading as a comedian singer, as a you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's not that funny. It's the one joke he had. It's a one joke act.
He's a comedian. He's got to have other jokes. Can you imagine him doing magic? There's got to be the mind that he has that you or I didn't have possessed to think of this first and go on the show. He's got to have some other good ideas. He's a comedian.
Sure.
So no. It's a hard no.
Yeah, it's a hard no.
Would he have made it through on your top 7?
Nope.
Was he top 8?
Top
18. I'm going to take that as a yes.
Top 18, maybe.
Wow. I'm going to miss him because he was one of the rare acts that actually got me to legitimately laugh during the audition episodes, which is a rarity nowadays with modern America's Got Talent.
Sure.
All right. Next up, we have Jekko. Is that his name? Jekko. Loud, annoying comedian is how he's described on MJ's Big Block. Yeah.
Yeah, and the trick was too easy to figure out as well.
What did you think about this act?
MJ summed it up. Yeah, the trick was easy to figure out in addition to being loud and annoying. So, yeah, no.
I feel bad for him because I wish we kind of got to see more of it. He was kind of a little bit in the vein of what I had wished Andy Rowell would have done. Like, kind of. I wish he had taken it in that kind of direction.
No,
you know what I'm saying? A little bit?
No.
All right, well, I don't really know what else to make. It was a weird moment.
Yep.
Which is what happens a lot on Modern America's Got Talent. Next up, we have the Orange Magician. And I don't even know how to describe this act. How would you go about explaining it?
Strange. It's basically a quick change act, but not a particularly quick one.
Exactly. First off, was there a guy in that little hut that he brought out on stage? Like, someone's got to have been in there helping him, right?
No, he's just pulling things off, and he's taking long. It's a long enough act that he's able to do it by himself, probably.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, me personally, I didn't really particularly enjoy this.
Never did I.
But
after Jekko, he looked positively brilliant.
We need like a bottle of vodka for every pun at this point. There's gonna be a pawn patrol on puns.
Okay.
So no more puns, unless I do it.
I wasn't making a dog pun. I was saying he was brilliant.
Oh, all right. Well, in my opinion, this act, like, I can see a crowd for this. This is when I sometimes like. I could imagine this being something like a child would watch and probably find enjoyment in, but as an adult watching it,
someone who hasn't developed object permanence would like this act. Yes.
The one thing that did kind of stick out is that this was the one point of the episode where I actually really didn't like Brad. Is he said the act was an allegory for Game of Thrones, and it does make me really sad because I loved Game of Thrones until the series finale. And it does kind of make me feel a little bummed that a show that I loved so much is now kind of being treated as a joke. But, that's how it is. Anyway, would he have made it through on your top 7? Top 8. We're going to find out who came in 8th place, Eric.
We'll find out who came in 8th place.
Maybe. All right. Any final words on him?
Nope.
All right. Well, next up, we have an act that a lot of these contestants have very strange names for the acts. Is it Wham?
Sure.
All right. They are beatboxers, which is an act you don't usually see on America's Got Talent. Off the top of my head, I can't even think of a. Have we seen an act like this?
I haven't seen an act like this on the show. I don't know why, but I totally forgot about their first audition.
I actually do remember them, vaguely. I remember seeing their performance. I think I remember saying that they didn't have enough singing, that it was just straight beatboxing kind of all the way through. And yeah, in my opinion, this is another moment that I think they are missing it. I think they need a singer. It can't just be electronic EDM music that people are going to
Here's the thing. I actually really liked it. I think, sure, it'd be better than a singer. But as it is, they were in my top 7. I'm happy they made it through. I really enjoyed this. And I enjoyed it despite Howie thinking that we're really stupid at home and saying, oh, maybe the people at home can't tell, but this is all them singing. There's no track involved.
Howie thinks we're 4.
Yeah, Howie thinks we're 4.
In my opinion, if there was an act that I would maybe swap, it would probably be these guys, just because, first of all, this episode wasn't the strongest, but there was one act that we're going to talk on a little later that if I was going to put in, I would maybe strongly consider bouncing these guys out for him.
Okay.
But every America's Got Talent live show episode always needs one act to open the show with crowd-pleasing moment and then get bounced. So I guess that's what these guys are going to end up being.
Yeah, I think the other act that you're thinking of is going to be a wild card, so don't worry about it.
I don't think so. The wild cards on America's Got Talent are always just something ridiculous. Have we ever? Who were the wild cards last year?
Human Satins were a wild card last year.
Yeah, the joke acts. Never a serious actual contender. It's kind of always just,
Okay.
All right. Well, any final thoughts on them?
Nope.
All right, let's talk about Dylan. He is a 10-year-old rapper. What did you think?
He's only 10. He's adorable. He's going to be really great when he gets older. And that is all I'm going to say about a child.
Yes. Co-signed. And moving on. Next up, we have the Emerald Bells. They are I don't even know how to... It's like almost cheerleading, but it's not really cheerleading. How would you describe this act?
It's the Rockettes, but really impressive. And
it's like the Rockettes, but they don't like being compared to the Rockettes. Is what I took from them, which is kind of absurd because they're kind of doing the exact same tricks. I know they're saying that they send their legs higher and knock their foreheads, but there's no denying the similarities there.
It's similar. I will say I really enjoyed. This is a really impressive act. It's not my favorite of the night. It's not even my top 4, but I would have put them through. And it annoys me that the reason they were put through was just about how he has an act to crap on when we get to live shows.
100%. There's going to be one poor girl who like accidentally slips, and Howie's just gonna,
I told you.
And Howie's just going to rail on that poor one girl, whoever she is, and that's going to be the end of them. For me, I have one huge problem with this act, and that's if they were to win, each girl is getting like $5. There's a lot of these.
That's not a problem with the act. That's a problem with America's Got Talent.
There are so many people. But I will say they are 100% undeniably talented. They are really good.
Really in sync, really impressive. The choreography was great. It was cool to watch this. I enjoyed it. One more note. Simon stole Randy Jackson's catchphrase, and it drives me crazy every time I hear anyone say it.
That phrase is burned into my mind. There are some things that just I automatically associate with someone, and In It to Win It goes right to Randy Jackson trashing on Haley Reinhart, saying she's not in it to win it. What was that? Was that top 4 week, I think?
I think it's a tie between Scotty, Lauren, and James. Round 1. Which is so...
Yeah,
I like James a lot. I still like James a lot. He's awesome. But you can't tell me that Haley did not deserve to be in the group. If Scotty's going to be in the group. Yeah, never mind.
I was actually a diehard James fan that season.
Oh, me too. James was my favorite.
I was a huge fan
Haley was my second favorite, and then when they both got cut, bleh.
James, Casey, and Pia Toscano were my 3 acts that I was rooting for. And none of them even made it to finale night. I thought they were really talented.
Yeah, that was a crap result here.
But anyway, we've gotten off topic. The Emerald Bells, they were, I'm assuming, in your top 7, right?
They're in it to win it, dog. Next. Oh, there's another dog pun.
God. If you were a judge on this episode, would I guess we should have mentioned this earlier. I should have mentioned this earlier. But would they have gotten your golden buzzer?
Yeah.
Let's make a note here, starting now, that during these episodes we each get a golden buzzer to give to an act. Moving forward, like who would be our golden buzzer act of the episode? Do you agree? Is that all right with you, Eric?
Sure.
All right. So yeah, they are also in my they're in my top 3, honestly. I don't think this is a winning act though.
No, it's not.
Not at all, which does make it
cut round 1 after Howie crapped all over him.
That's the biggest shame about that, is because I can't build that like investment in an act because I know it's not going to end well for them.
Yep.
Like they're talented, they are very, very good, but there's like something blocking me because I know that these acts it's going to go a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's talk about the Sentimentalists. They are magicians, but they very much like in the vein of the clairvoyants, kind of the, they're going to put on a whole show. What did you think about them?
Well, the thing is that the tricks are so easy to figure out. Everything about it, I know how it's done. And I've seen it so many times before that I'm not impressed by it anymore. The first time I saw it, I was like, how are they doing that? And then I did 5 minutes of Google research, and I realized, oh, that's how they're doing it. And it's not impressive anymore to me.
I'm of the opinion that America's Got Talent kind of approaches each season as if it's a brand new show. Like, this is the first season. Like, they pretend, like, season 14, it's as if it's the first season. And everything we're seeing just for the first time. We've never seen kind of a variety show like this. And that is why these are so not interesting to me, because I've seen previous seasons. I've seen what other acts kind of are capable. And as a result, this act, it kind of leaves a lot to be desired. It's not impressive compared to things I've seen in the past. And when the judges kind of hype them up, I'm like, yeah, but I know I've seen the show in the past. I know what happens. So who are you kidding? Is what I'm kind of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they were probably bottom tier act of the night for me.
Same here.
Any final thoughts on them?
I can tell you how they did it if you want to know, but I'm not going to tell you because.
All right, let's talk about duo. These acts, they have really hard to pronounce names.
Yep.
Duo Togni.
Mm-hmm.
Did I get that right?
Sure.
They are an acrobatic act. We get a couple of these every season. What did you think of them?
I enjoyed the way they tortured Howie, but other than that, not impressed.
I'm not a fan of like literally torturing a person. But
yeah. With Howie's, it's not really torturing him. It's just like, teasing him a bit and scaring him a little bit. Not actually hurting him.
Yeah, I think, though, this act was only really featured for that
because of the Howie part.
Otherwise, they were getting the montage of death.
Totally.
Their act was cool, but I feel like that was the moment. Like, that was, people are going to remember, if they're going to take anything from this segment, it's Howie Mandel screaming, holding from a rope.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's talk about the golden buzzer now, shall we?
Yes. Let's talk about Sophie Pakora, who is the golden buzzer act of this episode. She is the young singer who was featured in the Shane Dawson video, who America's Got Talent's kind of trying to pretend isn't already a big influencer and has a lot of followers. Anyway, but she is a young singer-songwriter, kind of a little bit in the vein of Katie Turner, a little bit.
I thought MJ made that comparison, but there's no comparison. Katie is a million times better.
Co-signed. But for Sophie, she is all about original songs. She did one for her audition. Her parents talk about how she's a big songwriter, and she does an original song for this performance. What did you think?
She's cute, but this is not my thing. I don't like the singing, rapping style of things. It's fine, better than Grace Vanderwaal was, in my opinion. She probably deserved to make it through, but I don't think she deserved a golden buzzer over some other acts.
In my opinion, she's kind of like a different version of. Do you remember the act Chase Goring, who we had on the show?
Very similar to Chase.
She's basically like a younger female version of Chase, who's not singing about girls.
Yes.
And the thing about Sophie, though, is I think Sophie, when you compare Chase and Sophie, I think Sophie's probably going to have more reach because more people will probably connect with her music than maybe they would with Chase. Do you think?
Yeah, possibly. But yeah, so, very similar styles. Yeah.
That's not for me, in my opinion, I think Sophie is a very talented girl. I'm just a little
too. Not my thing, but talented.
I'm just a little cynical because the show's trying to portray her as like this young, shy girl who's kind of just being like discovering herself when she's already kind of this big thing. So her original song, there was one part of it that I was watching this. She sings about the song is all about like being alone and like teenage angst. It's the only way I could really think to describe it. And she talks about how there's one scene where she talks about like these people who go on phones and they're sad and they look and they see people living in perfect houses, perfect families. And all I could think while I was watching that is, you're singing this to the wrong people. Like, right in front of you is Simon Cowell, like Julianne Hough, people who have all these things that you're kind of shading on a little bit. And I was Did you get that feeling also?
I didn't think of it, but yeah, you can make that argument.
Because I'm like,
Simon's kid's not gonna have any real issues.
that was just something that stood out to me. I was
I'm not
like,
gonna struggle in that way. Maybe he'll struggle in other ways, but
I was just like, why are you singing this song to them? Like, why don't you save this for like the live shows, or maybe your album afterwards? But it also just gave me a little bit of like an awkward squirming feeling in my stomach. Like it felt wrong. Like it felt like the judges are kind of looking down. Like, oh yeah, we're the people who have what you're kind of singing about. I don't know. Am I alone?
I didn't get that.
All right. Well, anyway, she ends up getting the golden buzzer. I saw a lot of people kind of not a fan of this golden buzzer result. What are your thoughts on it?
I'm agreeing. I don't think it was the right choice for golden buzzer. It was good, but it wasn't the best.
Do you think she deserved to dance?
Yes.
I am going to agree. I don't think it was
in my top 7.
She was top 6 or 5, kind of somewhere between the two of there on my list. And otherwise, though, yeah, she wasn't the best.
Nope.
I would have given her the golden buzzer if she'd done Baby Shark. I'm hoping we're gonna get one performance of that on the show because it's Simon Cowell. Someone's got to do it. Someone's got.
Okay.
All right.
Are you gonna share a joke you sent me over Twitter earlier this week or not?
Real story.
What?
There's a park that's kicking people out by playing Baby Shark on repeat. Leave the park, dude. Anyway,
it's now dark. Which is, by the way, to clarify, it's messed up that they're doing that. But
let's move on to the montage of death. So really quickly, we get 3 acts. I only remember one of their auditioners.
Yeah, me too.
So Dakota and Nadia, they were a dancing group. I don't remember who the hell these people
Montage
are.
of Doom. Skip it.
What?
Montage of Doom. Let's skip them. The only one of these 3 I want to talk about is Kevin.
All right, so let's talk about him last. So first up, next up we have who was last though. Loki Alohika. He was a singer. We had like a couple seconds of him.
Montage of Doom. That's all I wrote.
And Kevin Schwartz, who I remember this guy. I remember his audition. He was the one-liner guy. He did very short jokes. So right away, montage of doom. It's rough. It's looking rough for you, buddy. What did you think about his act?
It was sad to see him in the montage of doom. And I knew it was doom because they didn't even show the funniest joke from his first audition. They showed one of the mediocre jokes from his first audition. The thing, I have something better than this greatest scientist in the world because I'm not dead. That was a great joke. None of these jokes were as good as that one. But honestly, I still might have put him through based on the strength of that first audition.
I can't. If we had maybe seen the whole act, like I would maybe
be able to judge it that way. But yeah,
we only saw such a small snippet. I'm just left going. I can't justify it's like it's like an incomplete. Like I can't. I don't have enough information to kind of make a judgment on it.
Sure.
All right. Well, so 3 acts. All of them cut, but Sophie, like we said, is going on, as is the bells, the Emerald Bells, and the Berry Wham. So far, are we?
And Lucas and Falco. What? And Lucas and Falco.
Yeah. So far, are we in agreement with the results, Eric?
Yeah, I think so.
Me as well. I as well. Next up, we have Matthew Richardson. I remember this guy's audition. He's one of these, like, he does tricks in the air with a hoop, the way that I can describe it. And this act that he does it's a very emotional performance. It's kind of, it's all about his father who passed away. And there's actually like their words, like from a conversation from long ago, kind of included into the act. And I don't usually like these acts. I find them usually very dull and kind of played out. I actually really enjoyed this act. Like, really enjoyed it. What about you?
I kind of skipped the story, but then I read about it, and like there's more behind the act than I thought there was at first. For me, though, the talent part is just a lot of spinning. I got dizzy watching it. I wasn't truly blown away by it. And I know that a lot of people are going to be throwing popcorn and hate mail at me right now, but I wasn't a huge fan of this type of thing.
The thing is, for me, watching this performance, this felt like something we see on finale night. Like kind of the performance for the win. Like kind of the big throwing everything against the wall. Yes, I totally agree with you. This act is usually, it's played out. There's not a lot of wiggle room to go with it. But for me, I was going to take, I don't usually like get invested. This was a good story. Like I enjoyed this guy, and I'm going to be honest, I would have given this act my golden buzzer.
I figured you were about to say that, but
because first of all, this act, this episode didn't have the big moments for me, but
I think there's a clear choice for my golden buzzer. It's not him, but
this was the closest the show came this season to kind of stabbing a knife into my like my cold and like what's the word like
your cold dead heart or something like that.
It was like it came close. It didn't, but it came close. That's all I can really say. And yet he gets cut here. What happened?
He'll get a wild card, I think.
I don't think so.
I think so. I think there's a damn good chance he gets a wild card. All four judges stood up for him.
I've put so much hope in the wild cards in the past, and I've always been disappointed.
But they all stood up for him. He's getting a wild card.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think.
Well, any final thoughts on him?
We'll see him again, if I'm right.
All right. Well, next up in a kind of, it's like kind of a montage, but it's not a full, it's not a full-blown segment either. It's Demir. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering any of these people's names. I really apologize. This is the first time we've seen this act, if I'm correct, right?
Yes, and it's also the last time we'll see this act.
He is performing Say Something, and in one of the rare moments of America's Got Talent that we almost never see. In fact, I don't think I can recall a moment in the past when we've seen a singer do a song a cappella. Is that correct, Eric?
I respected him for trying to sing an a cappella. I'll say that first. But some of the notes were really off, and it was hard to get into the performance for me because of how off some of the notes were.
I will say, on paper, A+ idea. Like this,
absolutely A+ idea.
A stellar idea.
The execution.
We talk about this on when we talk about American Idol. Like there are so much when you have a show like American Idol or any singing show in general, if you can pick between a loud up-tempo moment and a quiet moment, always go for the quiet moment. And if you're in that quiet moment, there's a tiny magical little like step where you could go below. This is a very convoluted metaphor, but you could elevate a quiet moment by stripping it even further and just going a cappella. When the rare moments on American Idol when we've seen a cappella performances, they have been absolutely legendary, is the words I can only really think. But most of the time, also singers don't really commit, and they don't go all the way. Like they start it, and then they kind of get nervous, and they need the music to kind of kick in the back. I'm of the opinion if you're going to go a cappella, like half of it, just do it all the way. Like if you're committed to go to the halfway point, you might as well just go all the way. The problem with an act like this is that when we talk about on American Idol a contestant doing something like that, they're usually at a different level, and they're usually able to kind of. What I'm trying to say is he didn't have the voice. He didn't have. He bit off. He took the jump to climb Mount Everest.
He doesn't have a voice. He doesn't have the X factor. He's not our American Idol.
He was like a level 10 archer going up against a level 99 bishop. Like it's such a huge beast that he took on that he was level 10 when he was fighting a stronger beast than him. Am I making sense with my metaphors?
Sure.
When Eric says sure, that means no.
Yeah, basically.
All right. Any final thoughts on him?
I know, but I'm excited to talk about the next act.
All right. So next up we have Chris Clafford, who is in
Sweetest Idol.
in the weird realm that we usually have on American Idol. We always have like these brackets. Like we have a singer, but they always fit into like a category. They've got a sob story. This person, they're all in brackets of things. But also we get that one contestant who kind of just is so not he's like so normal, like in the sphere of what America's Got Talent kind of crafts, that he stands out for just being like a normal dude. You know what I'm saying a little bit?
Yeah.
So he also, like you mentioned, he won Swedish Idol, which it's like a little mark against him. But what do you think about his performance here?
I don't think it's a mark against him at this point. He's never won an American show. He's my favorite singer in the competition, hands down. This was a great performance. I'm not sure I liked it better or worse than his audition, but it's close enough that he's my golden buzzer. I really hope he makes the final.
I think he will. He is in the vein that we have like Brian Justin Crumb and Emily West.
I don't think he's as good as Brian. I think he's better than Emily.
You know what? I think he's in that bracket, like where he's kind of that
a really, really strong singer without much of a story. Yeah.
Who's just kind of like who just like gets a pass to the finale night, like because they're just on such they're the inconsistencies of America's Got Talent is what I would say, where there's someone who just they're so good that they don't belong. Like, if that makes sense. Like, we don't usually see acts of this caliber on the show. I will say, yes, he is a very talented singer. In my opinion, it's not my thing, but I can't deny that this dude's. I think he's the biggest takeaway from this episode.
Me too. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, like I said, he's just the inconsistency. He is that act, that Brian Justin Crumb, the Emily West, who just. It's like, how did you get here? Like, this is you're a little bit too good for this show. We don't usually see someone of this level. Anyway, though, in my opinion, he's number 2 on my list. In my opinion, because I would put Richardson number 1, honestly. He's
number 1 on my list. Next.
All right, next up. Oh my God, America's Got Talent. What are you doing to me with these names? The Masudi brothers. This act did kind of make me. They have this story. They just literally they were performing somewhere else, and they get off the plane and come right to America's Got Talent. And the baggage claim lost their clothes, so America's Got Talent gives them clothes to perform. We've seen in the past a lot of acts that kind of do this kind of shtick, and it's very played out. The closest. My favorite, the only one that I could think in the past who has done something like this is, I don't know if you are familiar with this act, the Kristoff brothers.
Vaguely. I don't watch my season, I don't think.
They did this, but they were comedy, and it was absolutely hilarious. And it was, I think an act kind of needs that, because if it's just straight up, like if you're playing it straight, like, and it's just like a serious like show of power, I think the audience kind of gets. As impressive as it is, the show desensitizes you to kind of like what is actually talent. I've said enough. What did you think about these guys?
It's not a modeling competition. It's a talent competition. They are talented. This is not a winning act.
They are. I just want to say, like, they are. That one trick with the guy's legs.
Yeah.
Like,
all of the tricks. It was all impressive.
I felt my own legs like going, ooh, like just like, oh my God, that must kill. Like, to put the full weight, like, as your legs are kind of, these dudes are really strong. Like, oh my God. But the biggest thing of the act is kind of that once they finish their performance, I was like, you get a check plus. It was a good thing. I don't think it's be like a check plus, like something that I would really remember, but for what this episode was, it was good enough. And then they kind of had this moment where their father's in the audience and kind of comes up and does something. He like takes part in the act, and I was like, all right, now it's a check plus. What did you think?
it's a clever idea to have her dad join in to be more memorable. I will probably remember them when live shows start, but it's still not a winning act for me.
I thought they're in my opinion, number 3 for me.
They're really good, but they're not my thing.
Exactly. The thing is that the show this is not a winning act. It's not an act that I can see them maybe making it one round. Otherwise, I think without the father and without the shtick, I think this is what I've said in the auditions. Like, you have the bucket full of tricks, and they've kind of taken that bucket and they've kind of dumped it. And that's good. That gave you a really good performance, but now your bucket's empty and you're going into the next round. And your options are to either desperately try to find something else to fill the bucket or just keep doing what you're doing, in which case it's not usually going to end well.
Yeah.
But I will say, for an act who's going to take their bucket and dump it all out, I found this hella entertaining.
I'm glad.
All right. Any final thoughts on them?
See them next round.
Yep, they are one of the acts making it through. Next up, we have an act. Every act, they have hard names. How would I pronounce this next one, Eric?
Ndilovu Youth Choir.
Nidlovu? I'm so sorry. I apologize. If any of these people in this group are watching, I'm sincerely apologize. Anyway, they are they're a choir, but they're almost on the border of being like a show choir. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a show choir is kind of like they dance around, but it's like just on the verge of being that. They perform a song that I haven't heard since it's kind of been like 6 or 7 years. Waka Waka.
Yeah.
By Shakira, which was what was that? That was
the World Cup thing.
The World Cup song. We got that. We got like the waving flag song. We got C'est La Vie a few years later. There's some really good music to come from the World Cup. But what did you think about these guys?
Fine. I remember them being better for some reason. Maybe it's because I didn't like the song choice this time, but
I like the song. I love it.
I like their audition better, I think. But this was good. I'm glad they advanced, but it wasn't a step forward for me.
The lead singers, in my opinion, they weren't the best. I was thinking, is there someone better like in this? Like of all the vocalists, like maybe she's just nervous or something. I don't know. But yeah, the lead singer kind of something was a little bit off about them. But they're undeniably talented. I think though, when I was watching this, it kind of brought the question to my mind of why haven't we seen like a full-blown show choir on this show? We've only just seen choirs, and I think this act would maybe benefit to doing something like that, to kind of maybe go the full-blown like production. And do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's the only way choir is going to win one of these shows. I think
because then you're playing like the Glee game on that show, because there's a lot more to do, and when you're just a choir, usually we see them, they're just standing still. Maybe there's like a raised hand occasionally or like some movement, but on the whole, it's kind of the same thing. I do like that they're kind of right on the bubble of being something different, but they're not going all the way, so it leaves a little to be desired.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, undeniably talented. They do make it through, and I do think they do deserve to make it through. So yeah, that's kind of our the episode. Do you have any final thoughts on their performance or kind of the episode in general?
Honestly, not really. It was a decent episode, but I'm hoping that we'll get better ones in the future.
I agree. It was an okay first, but then I remember like we lost Andy Rowell this episode.
Really? Get over it.
You know, episode would have been awesome if anyway, yeah. So that is our episode. Any last minute things?
Not really. So I forgot. Do you know who we guest judges next week yet, or we don't know that yet?
don't know. Maybe it's Jay Leno.
That episode's gonna have a title that's already picked out for it.
Jay.
No.
Nato?
No, it's hashtag Team Coco is the name of the episode.
I don't know what that means. Is that a reference to something?
It's a big reference to something. Google it. You'll get it before.
All right. Well, otherwise, I just want to say, for the first time on Reality Hour, I'm Adam Samuel. You can find me on Twitter at AdamSoapbox, on my two websites, adamsoapbox.com, adamcvblog.com. Where can we find you, Eric?
EricAscher.com, Eric_Ascher on Twitter, EricAscher01 on YouTube.
Yes. So, if you've made it to the end of this podcast, first of all, thumbs up to you. You are a trooper. Give us a like. Give us a subscription. These podcasts are a lot of fun to film. If you could drop a subscription, it really helps us out. Keeps us being able to deliver good content to you guys on a weekly basis.
Yep. Until the next hour.
Until the next hour. We need a sign-off
That's it. Until the next hour.
Eric has made it up on the fly, and we're going with it. Until the next hour, guys, peace.